Well, this is a storyline we have never experienced, at least not in my lifetime. John McCain first coming out, and then his campaign manager Rick Davis, and explaining how this convention, at least for tomorrow, is going to be pretty much suspended because of the hurricane bearing down on the Gulf Coast. John McCain spoke to reporters here in St. Paul and to people watching across the country on CNN and CNN.com. He spoke via satellite from a campaign stop in St. Louis, Missouri. Here's what he just said a few minutes ago.
The 300 million other Americans, on behalf of our fellow citizens, it's a time for action. So we're going to suspend most of our activities tomorrow, except for those absolutely necessary. Rick Davis, our campaign manager, will be coming on right after me to tell you about the details of it. But I know you agree with me. It's time to open our hearts, our efforts, our wallets, our concern, our care for those American citizens who are now under the shadow of the probability of a natural disaster.
John McCain twice today. First, you heard him there from Mississippi. Earlier today, he went down to Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. He toured an emergency center that's going to be dealing with those getting evacuated by the hurricane. And then just moments, that second sound you heard there was from him in Missouri, just within the last few minutes when he explained what they're doing with this convention. As he mentioned, his campaign manager, Rick Davis, then came on and explained what's going to happen tomorrow. And it's going to be something we've really haven't seen in generations. Tomorrow, the convention will start on time in the late afternoon here in St. Paul. But then that's pretty much it. They're going to go through a couple of the mandatory things. They'll do they'll get the convention started officially, and they'll do a couple things, doing the platform, passing the platform, and then they're going to adjourn. Probably by about 6:30 Eastern. There's going to be nothing in prime time. Remember, originally tomorrow night was supposed to be George Bush, President Bush, Vice President Cheney, and First Lady Laura Bush. None of that will be happening now. They're going to be cutting it back, so the vast majority of tomorrow's program will be suspended, all because of this hurricane. Because, of course, they don't want to be seen to be having a party convention, a celebration, while some Americans, many Americans, will be struggling, and unfortunately maybe some losing their lives.
So, Paul, we know the game plan for tomorrow, 3 to 5, abbreviated version, business only. Do we know anything past tomorrow?
Rick Davis, the campaign manager, and Mike Duncan, the head of the Republican National Committee, say they're going to take it day by day. And I think really we'll know later tomorrow what they're going to be doing on Tuesday, and that's going to be dictated by what happens with this storm. If this is a very powerful and destructive storm that really wreaks havoc down in the Gulf region, I think we could see similar things on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, very short, curtailed sessions. If this storm, and we pray that this is the likely result of this storm, doesn't hurt the Gulf Coast that much, then maybe it could get back to business as usual later this week. But it's really going to, I think, depend on the hurricane. That's what the Republican officials in the McCain campaign are saying. They just, it is a bad imagery. You don't want to be seen here dancing and celebrating and having a good time while so many Americans are struggling, maybe fighting for their lives down on the Gulf Coast. That's not the image the Republicans want. And also what they're doing as well is, as John McCain said, they are now going to be dedicating a lot of this convention to helping those people in the Gulf Coast, raising money. Some of the delegates here already from Mississippi and Louisiana are flying home with the help of the McCain campaign to be with their families and evacuate their families. And I think you're going to see a lot of that this week.
Paul, do we know when McCain and Sarah Palin, when the two of them will go to St. Paul?
We do not know. Traditionally Sarah Palin would have arrived tomorrow. Usually the vice presidential nominee arrives on the first day of the convention. We just saw that with Joe Biden last week in Denver. We believe she's on her way back to Alaska right now, and then turning around and coming right back. John McCain today, he was in Mississippi earlier today. Now he is in Missouri, and we don't know what his schedule is yet for the rest of tonight and tomorrow and later in the week. I think they're all playing this one, day by day, even minute by minute. We do know for sure, though, and we heard this because earlier today we knew President Bush wasn't coming. The White House said that President Bush and Vice President Cheney were not coming. We thought that maybe Laura Bush would still come and give a speech, and then George Bush would join via satellite. We know now that is not happening. And I can understand why, too, because of the bad images from 2005 with Katrina and the criticism the Bush administration got over the federal handling of Katrina. President Bush wants to be seen, it seems to me right now, to be on top of this situation. So rather than being at a political convention, he's either going to be monitoring things from the White House or actually maybe even going down to the region. That's what could happen tomorrow.